Popeye. Hello there. Welcome back to the Doctor Who Retrospective. I'm Scotty. You're not. We're on Series 4, Episode 4, the Sontaran Stratagem. Hey, I got it figured out in the episode. I was doing it way wrong. It's not this. It's Santaha, 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 Santaha. Yeah, that's how I did it. Not the way I did it. Yes, this episode reintroduced. It got a little laggy there for a second. And then, at least for me, maybe not for you guys, but reintroduces the Sontarans, a classic Doctor Who villain, as well as introduces Unit. They were mentioned, I think, once before. Yeah, in Sound of Drums, they were mentioned. Unit was mentioned. Then Mr. President Winter was the Unit. Well, Unit is now here. And yes, they're on the TARDIS. And they are contacted via Martha's phone. Oh, there is a pre-title sequence where someone, a spy or something, is in her car, or an employee that is unruly. She's in the car and she gets killed by some gas. That's the setup. Yeah, what I like about is that for the first half of this, they build up who these bad guys are. You don't see them. You don't see like from behind point of views. You hear the voices. You don't see them. Even when they have a reveal of the suit. When it takes off the helmet, you see the eyes. Just the eyes. You don't really see anything else. So it's really well done. And then the reveal happens when the Doctor finds it. And it's like, Sontaran. Yeah, so you can kind of guess by the suit, if you're longtime fans, what it is. But yeah, so Martha, because it goes pre-title sequence and it cuts to them, and then Martha's like, I'm calling you back to Earth. And then yeah. I do like how Donna's reaction, that's a mobile in space. Yeah, it's her phone. She connected. Yeah, so we find out she works for Unit now. Yes, and they do mention that the Doctor used to work for Unit. He's out back in the 70s. It was the 80s, I don't know. 70s. The third and fourth Doctors worked for Unit. I don't know about fifth, but I know the third and fourth Doctors because I know that. So the whole thing with the third Doctor, if I'm recalling this right, so he was forced into regeneration. The second Doctor was forced to regenerate by the Time Lords, and he was banished to Earth. He was stuck on Earth because of budgetary reasons. And so he worked with Unit battling threats there. So, yeah. And then you got the TARDIS working because, I don't know, budget went up or something. I don't know. When he became the fourth Doctor, he flew off. And he would come back sometimes, but this is really the first time he's interacting with Unit. Unit would get a bigger upgrade once the 11th Doctor would show up and the introduction of Kate Lethbridge Stewart. But the original character was Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. Or was it James? I don't remember what his first name is. Lethbridge Stewart. Yeah. I don't know if it's not in this episode, it's in the next one. There are two Easter eggs. One of them mentioned a Brigadier. The other one, I'll get to when I talk about the episode, because it's something where he does something and you're going to quote it, and then he quotes it, and it's like, oh. But we'll get there in the next episode. But, so, yeah, and of course, he doesn't like this general guy because he's got a gun. He doesn't like guns and like weapons, Now, the Doctor, I think, is far from peaceful. It's been demonstrating he'll do what he has to, but his first priority is not to kill. Weapons, guns, He uses a sonic screwdriver, for God's sake. But weapons, guns, all that stuff, no. And I do like Donna's like, this is what happens. You turn us into soldiers, which is, I mentioned that before, but I think it's later too, that an enemy that I don't want to reveal who it is. It's an enemy. It's a classic enemy, but an enemy. But says that this is what you turn them into soldiers. So I also like this exchange where Donna's like, I want to go home. And the doctor has this whole lament about, oh, I was going to take you here and I was going to take you there and we're going to go around the place. And then she's like, and then he starts to realize, oh, you mean you want to pop home for a visit and then come back? You idiot. And so, Donna, you idiot. The moves of what? Shut up. Yeah, I do like this scene too where she goes home and Wilfred's out taking the trash out. Sylvia probably. I don't like Sylvia yet. I'm sorry. She just, like, there's this big old moment where she comes back and it's a big hug between the two of them and then she goes inside and just gets bitched at by Sylvia. Like, Jesus. She is insufferable. Think Jackie at the beginning of it, but 10 times worse than Jackie was. Jackie was still likable at the beginning of her run. This is, oh my God, at one point, I'm just like, shut the up. Seriously, there's a point where, oh, it's you. You, like, it's funny that, or Wilfred, everyone's met the doctor, but, well, he met him too, because they do reference that, but, like, yeah, there's this genius kid from America. I say that because it's not really America, you know, I mean, it's British. It's like when they were in Pompeii with British accents. And it's interesting how they go to all these colonies in space and everyone is British. The Brits got there first, apparently. I know it's a British show. It's just a little nitpicky. It's just a little thing. Like, everywhere they go, everyone has a British accent. Excuse me, sometimes I think they try, but... I mean, the 11th Doctor goes to Italy and they have British accents there. It's like, really? Anyway. Karen Gillan's in episode 2. That's kind of funny. So the Sontarans have this plan. There's 2 security guards who come across people guarding a door. Apparently it is a door to a secret area that they haven't found yet. So they show up and the Doctor and Donna are told they're looking for illegal aliens. Now, you could process as people from other countries who have snuck over here. I know they usually use that for Mexicans who jump the border or sneak across the border, but I think you can do that too to the airport. I don't know if you do it so much now. I mean, this was still post 9/11. I don't know. I guess you can. Maybe you say you're coming for a visit and then not go back. I don't know. You got a passport. You have to get a citizenship. Something you can apply for that. I reckon anyone who comes over here and stays and is not a citizen, does not get like a citizenship, would that make them an illegal? I don't know. I guess? I don't know all that stuff. I don't know. I'm not savvy to that. Savvy, whatever. Anyway. And it is like, there are people who have different accents. But clearly there's something going on because Martha, who is now a doctor, because Unit sped it up, that's illegal. I'm sorry. I know you're a secret government group, but that, I don't know. She also claims, and I say claims, to be engaged to Thomas Milligan. You know, Tom Ellis from the last. Interesting, because we never see him again. I don't think. Unless he pops up in the next one. And, not to spoil anything, but she ends up married to someone else who we already know, who's an idiot. So, where does that come in? Like, she's engaged here, but then doesn't, or is she just saying that to make the Doctor jealous? which means she still hasn't given up. Woman, let it go, please. You know, I don't know, but like Donna figures, oh, you're married, or you're engaged, or you're married, or whatever. But then the part I don't like. So, and I get they're trying to frame it like they did with the Sontarans. Oh, look, it's them. But like at one point, she's standing there and she's trying to figure stuff out, and she's like, "Well, I need to go talk to someone." And two guards come up, and they deliberately don't show their faces. Oh, the general needs to speak to you. Good, because I need to talk to him. And then they turn around, and the camera pans up to show it's the two security guards who. So I didn't finish my sentence from earlier. The two security guards find the people, they're clones, standing there, and they are brainwashed into work. They're not clones, they're brainwashed. But then we find out, and it's those two, and it's like, oh, it's them. Shocker. How did we not know? Of course we knew, right? Or how did I know? It's obvious. And then Martha gets cloned. Because the Sontarans, they're a race of clones, which makes sense that usually every time you see one is played by Dan Starkey, although there are different actors. Here, Dan Starkey is one of them. He plays General Stahl? Scar. Stahl the Undefeated. That's the leader. That's not Dan Starkey. He's Scar, I think. General Scar. Stahl the Undefeated is the leader. And then Starkey would return to play our favorite Sontaran, Strax. Come on out. Surrender to the glory of the Sontaran Empire. You there. Go. I'm a boy. Huh? Oh, yeah. Of course. Wait till we get to them. I love Strax. Anyway. So, yeah, I like the Sontaran design. I do like it, but I've seen the classic design. They look like potatoes. I know this was the 70s, the 80s. They didn't have much. They looked like potatoes inside spacesuits. They're a little bit better here, and yeah, you look some of the classic designs. It's very 70s, 60s, 70s sci-fi. Like the Cybermen were just people in like it looked like they have a sock on their head with things sticking out. The Daleks, I think, were the only ones that looked normal, looked similar. You had like the later we'll see the Silurians that look more like fish people there, where they're more sleek now. That's not till like series 6, but just saying they reinvent them. Like the redesigns are much better, I think. These were just potato people. And again, I didn't watch a lot of the classic stuff. I tried. I watched the one with Sutek to kind of catch up myself from, to get ready for it. But Scar, I'm looking right at it. Dan Starkey, Commander Scar. Does it say General Stahl, Christopher Ryan, also known as Stahl the Undefeated? I love the Doctor's quip. Well, that's not a good nickname. What if you're defeated? Technically, he is, because the Doctor thwarts him and takes off. That's technically a defeat, right? Because he tries, I got a complaint. They have a thing that somehow there's like a signal or something that basically tells our weapons not to fire. Like it makes the bullet do something in the chamber it's not going to fire. Why can't you just say there's a signal that, I guess it's not like technologically sound for a hand weapon. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah. But yeah, so Martha gets turned into a clone. And I understand it's for the plot, But I think that takes away from the excitement of having, oh, we have two of the companions in this one, and she's a clone for most of it. It's like initially when I watched the Avengers, Marvel's Avengers, and oh, everyone's gonna be fighting side by side, and for like most of half of the movie, Hawkeye is brain controlled by Loki, and it's like, oh, look, the Avengers are together, but he's working with Loki, and it's like they didn't. It's like they didn't have anything for him to do, so they had to have him mind controlled, and yet Selvig is the only one that ends up having any repercussions from that. He's just fine because I still say to this day they only did that because they didn't have anything for him to do. You know, brainwashing Selvig, they need a scientist. That makes sense. Hawkeye, they didn't have anything for him to do. Sorry, I warmed up to that plot point, but it always felt to me they didn't have anything for him to do other than so that he's out of the way for most of the movie until it's time for him to join the Avengers. That's what it was. And I really don't think that's the case here because I don't know. It could be Martha brain control. Maybe she's going in and out of brain control because of her strength with the Doctor. But no, it's a clone, and like I don't know. At one point, the Doctor calls her and it's like, "Tell the General, code Sontaran, code red Sontaran." She's like, "Got it." And then the General is like, "Any news report?" "Nothing, sir." Shock. She's the clone. Again, we know. We kind of got it. We get towards the end here. And the doctors, so they have these Atmos cars. There are people that died, 52 people died all at the same time, all in Atmos vehicles. So the doctor's checking out the Atmos car that they have, that the nobles have. And this is the nobles. And he's checking it out, and he actually fumes out a gas. He's like, "No, don't breathe it, don't breathe it." This is where Wilford finally sees the Doctor. "Oh, it's you! Oh, it's you! It's a small world after all." What are the odds? Because, as you know, Wilford was not there during the Runaway Bride, and I actually kind of spaced that because when Sylvia comes up, he goes, "Oh, it's you." He's like, "Oh, you." He's like, "You know him too?" "Yeah, he was at the wedding. I told you about the wedding." And they make up an excuse why he wasn't there. He had the Spanish flu. I see. Achoo, achoo, I see. I don't know. Is that what happens when you have the flu instead of achoo, you go, I see. Sorry. But, what is the Spanish flu? How is it different from the regular flu? Why couldn't it just be the flu? I don't know. I get like the bird flu. It's caused by birds. The swine flu caused by pigs. But Spanish flu. Did he have an intimate night with a Spanish woman and got the flu? Is that why he called it that? I could see Wilford. Oh, Wilf. Anyway, yeah. And then Wilford gets locked in the car. And the gas starts going off because the Sontarans sense it. Oh, forgot to mention that the Radigan Academy, which is where this American kid is from, there's just a big old teleport, and he even comments like, "Oh, no one's gonna see it. It's just a thing. No one's gonna talk about a thing. It's a teleport." He teleports himself, and that's when he has like the Sontarans, and he teleports one Sontaran there, and then he like deactivates the machine so no more can come through. But then it really doesn't do anything because they're able to fix it anyway. And yeah, we get the Santaha as the gas fills the planet, and I'm like, "Oh, is this the end of this episode?" And yeah, you did you. I'm like, yeah. Wilford's in the car. Let me out. And she's like, "Yeah, man, get him out." And he's just like, whatever. And then you get a, yeah. And again, I remember my son and I were watching this. He's watching this, and he's like, "It's gonna end, isn't it?" And it did that. He's like, "Yep." I'm like, "You're starting to figure it out, aren't you?" Yeah. He you know. And even Blind Wave was it this one where Eric's like, "Aaron, nothing's really happening, huh? Nothing really happened. It's slow, it's going, and then this feels like a cliffhanger." I think it was this one. It was one of them that he does it. Damn it! But yeah, this is a good start. Again, criticism on the Martha stuff, but to be fair, we do get a proper double companion story after this. It's one of the more interesting and legendary ones, to be sure. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this episode? In the comments, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.